the championship game of the first round. Let's go ahead and get started. Who invented the World Wide Web? Judah, Mark.
The United States military.
Incorrect. You guys can confer. Any answers?
No answer.
No answer. Tim Berners-Lee. Movie star Alan Stewart Koenigsberg is better known by what name? Koenigsberg. Correct answer is Woody Allen. That was Woody Allen's real name. What does a vocal exercise? How does a vocal exercise continue? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Judah, Sam.
Tito.
T is correct. Tito. Yes. America's first Indian language newspaper was launched in what southern state? Danville, Adam.
New Mexico.
Not New Mexico.
They said Indian. Wasn't American Indian? Yeah, it would have been like Arizona.
Arizona, no, it was Georgia. Georgia was the first. What literary character is credited with boosting boarding school enrollment in Britain? Literary character. Danville, Kendall.
Madeline.
No.
Harry Potter. Think about it. It could be Jack Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is the correct answer. In which Gulf is the island nation of the Bahrain situated? Which Gulf is Bahrain in? Danville, Isaac.
Persian Gulf.
Persian Gulf is correct. What is the chemical name for laughing gas? Carice.
Nitrous oxide.
Nitrous oxide is correct. What beloved artist did the Guggenheim Museum fondly honor with an exhibit? Pictures for the American People in 2001. Beloved American artist. Mark, Judah.
Warhol.
Not Warhol. You guys can confirm?
O'Keefe.
No, Norman Rockwell. Norman Rockwell is what we're looking for. Who painted Impression Sunrise? From which impressionism got its name? Impression Sunrise. Correct answer is Claude Monet. What is the collective noun for goldfinches? Correct answer is a charm. A charm of goldfinches, apparently. How many baby teeth does an average person have? Danville, Isaac.
20.
20 is correct. What stadium is home of the Chicago Bears NFL football team? Judah, Nathan.
Soldier Field.
Soldier Field is correct.
Darn you, Nathan. Darn sorry.
What crooner and former movie partner of Jerry Lewis died on Christmas Day in 1995? Correct answer is Dean Martin. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. What is the name of the first test tube baby born in 1978? Louise Brown is the correct answer. What are Mozart's first and middle names? Judah, Sam.
Wolfgang Amadeus.
Correct. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. In which British city did the Beatles get their start? Kendall, Danville.
Liverpool.
Liverpool is the correct answer. If you travel directly north from Lima, Peru, until you hit the United States, which of these cities do you come closest to? Phoenix, Houston, New Orleans, or Miami? Mark.
Phoenix.
Incorrect.
Houston.
Houston, no, it's Miami. Miami is the correct answer. What is referred to as a laundry bag in the Air Force? Correct answer is a parachute. Dr. Seuss is a pen name for who? Kendall, Danville.
Theodore Geisel.
Yes, Theodore Geisel. In which Shakespeare play does Don John attempt to ruin Claudio and Hero's wedding? Christina, Danville.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Much Ado About Nothing. Good job. What do the 7 rays on the crown of the Statue of Liberty represent? Adam, Danville.
The 7 continents.
Yes, 7 seasons, 7 continents, yes. This major leaguer finished his career with over 1,400 stolen bases. By far the most. Judah, Nathan.
Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson is great. is right. He's the greatest, I was going to say. What is the world's first nuclear-powered submarine? What was? Danville, Adam.
The Nautilus.
USS Nautilus, correct. NBC's Friends had a 10-season run which totaled 236 episodes. Name the 6 friends. Adam, Danville.
Joey, Chandler, Monica, Phoebe, Rachel, and Ross.
That is correct. Got all 6. Who founded the Portland Mavericks independent baseball team? Correct answer is Bing Russell, who happens to be a former actor and father of Kurt Russell. In which country was gunpowder invented? Mark, Judah.
China.
China is correct. Okay, it's time for this round's video question, which goes to Danville.
My name is Matthew Hurt, and I teach film, literature, and writing here at Parkland. My question for you is, what is the name of the classic 1950 Japanese film by director Akira Kurosawa that presents 4 conflicting and contradictory eyewitness accounts of a rape and murder without ever resolving which account is true?
Need an answer?
Godzilla.
The film is Rashomon, and it lends its name to a phenomenon well known to criminal investigators and trial lawyers, the so-called Rashomon effect, which questions the reliability of first-person eyewitness accounts to crimes due to the inescapable role of subjectivity in perception.
Okay, interesting video question. Let's move on to the regular game. What is the 3rd letter of the Greek alphabet? Judah, Sam.
Delta.
Not Delta. You guys can prefer 3rd letter of the Greek alphabet.
Just guess something. Go.
Epsilon.
Epsilon. No, it's Gamma. Gamma. What bird is said to bury its head in the sand when afraid? Carice, Judah.
Ostrich.
Ostrich is correct. What city is home to University of Minnesota's College of Agriculture? Danville, Isaac.
Minneapolis.
Not Minneapolis.
Where's the football team's in Minneapolis, but where's St. Paul? St. Paul.
St. Paul is correct. Calico cats are almost always what sex? Adam, Danville.
Female.
Female is correct. What popular sport was invented by James Naismith? Kendall, Danville.
Basketball.
Basketball is correct. To fill the seasonal gap between football and baseball. What do you call a point in the range of values at which half the values are above it and half the values are below it? Nathan, Judah.
The mode.
No, not the mode.
Median.
Median is correct. How many land miles are in a league? Christina, Danville.
3.
3 is correct. What item was created in 1768 by Paul Revere? Sam.
Tea kettle.
Not a tea kettle. You guys can confer? An answer?
Rides through town.
No, Liberty Bowl, which is also a football game now. Huh. Name the hip-hop singer who has been called the Aretha Franklin of Generation X. Adam, Danville.
Beyonce.
Not Beyonce. You guys can confer?
Rihanna.
No, Mary J. Blige. What we're looking for. What type of surgeon specializes in the comprehensive care of patients with disorders of their eyes and vision? Kendall, Danville.
Optometrist.
Not optometrist.
That's not a surgeon. A surgeon. What is it? Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist is correct. We're looking for surgeon. What is the name of the narrator's lost love in Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven? Caleb. Or, I'm sorry, Carice.
Annabelle Lee.
Incorrect.
Lenore.
Lenore. With Raven Nevermore. In Greek mythology, who is the god of flocks and herds? Christina, Danville.
Apollo.
Not Apollo.
Hermes.
No, pan. Pan. How many total candles do you need to light a menorah properly for the entire crease, Judah?
9.
Incorrect. I'll finish the question for you guys. How many total candles do you need to light a menorah properly for the entire 8 nights of Hanukkah?
Just one.
No, 44.
44.
For all 8 nights, how many candles?
Each night.
Oh, it's
In what city could you see the Seagull Monument at Temple Square? That's Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay, that's the end of the first round. We'll tally up the scores and be back with the lightning round right after this.
My name is Dan Irwin. I work at Plastic Pack Packaging. I've been there for actually 19 years. I took the online course at Parkland College of the Supervisory and Leadership Certificate class. I wanted to improve and sharpen my skills as far as a leader and supervisor for my employees. I was put into this position about a year and a half ago, and at that point I really didn't have a lot of supervisory, so I was kind of learning on the fly, and so I was looking for anything that would help me out to give me an edge, and I really enjoyed the class, and I think it really helped. One of the most important ones was the interaction with the other students. I wound up with the blogging that we did back and forth and stuff. You picked up on other situations that everybody had and how you might be affected by some of those situations that I never even thought of or would have encountered, or even thought I would have. And it was kind of neat being able to, relate with all the other students. My future goals is to try and be the best supervisor I can be so that I can help my employees be the best that they can be in their, I hope in their pursuit of employment at Plastic Pack.
Okay, ending the lightning round. It's a great game. Danville has 130 and Judah Christian has 100. Let's get started with the questions. By what name was folk singer Robert Zimmerman better known? Adam, Danville.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan is the correct answer. What was Socrates forced to drink to commit suicide? Carice, Judah.
Poison?
Specific kind of poison?
I don't remember.
Hemlock was what we were looking for. Hemlock. How many ounces does a 7-pound newborn baby weigh? Nathan, Judah.
112.
112 is correct. You may remember Sputnik is the first U.S.-Russian satellite. You may remember Sputnik is the first Russian satellite. What was the first U.S. satellite? Correct answer was Explorer 1. What is a portion of New York's Broadway Theater District called? Correct answer is the Great White Way. What horse breed is colorful and unique, as its coat pattern is usually noticed because of its spots and splashes? Carice, Judah.
Appaloosa.
Appaloosa is correct. Good job. Lieutenant Pinkerton, Prince Yamadori, and Goro appear in what opera? That opera is Madame Butterfly. What NBA teams other than the Chicago Bulls did Michael Jordan play for? Nathan, Judah.
Washington Wizards.
Washington Wizards, that's correct. Las Posadas, a Christian tradition in San Antonio, Texas, celebrates what event? Las Posadas celebrates what event? Correct answer is Mary and Joseph searching for an inn. Which chess piece is allowed to jump over other pieces? Adam, Danville.
The Knight.
The Knight is correct. Who wrote a supposedly fun thing I'll never do again? The Pale King and Infinite Jest. David Foster Wallace is the correct answer from Champaign County. In which sports are skulls and sweeps used? Kendall, Danville.
Curling?
Not curling, no. Skulls and sweeps. Oh, I'm sorry. Lightning round. Rowing was the correct answer. The Lofoten Islands belong to which country? Correct answer is Norway. For what metal is AU the chemical symbol? Sam, Judah.
Gold.
Gold is correct. What is the only bone in the body that is not attached to another bone? Sam, Judah.
Hyoid.
Hyoid is correct. Who was the president at the time Elizabeth II was crowned Queen of England? Isaac Danville.
Ernest Truman.
No, close. Dwight D. Eisenhower is the correct answer. And that's the end of the lightning round. We've still got a good game. We'll come back with the final round right after this.
I say no because survivors of sexual abuse fight for life every day.
I say no more because no child should live in fear.
I say no more, she was asking for it.
I say no more because I am worth more than a man putting his hands on me. I'm a child of God and I am somebody.
Because being a survivor shouldn't be a me too kind of conversation among friends.
No more pretending it didn't happen.
No more.
No more.
No more. No more. No more.
Catch live, play-by-play coverage of Parkland sports. Live the action live. Coversports.net.
Okay, and after the lightning round, we've got a great game. Danville 130, Judah Christian 140. Let's get back to the questions. What two U.S. states are readily accessible from a border town called Moark? Correct answer is Missouri and Arkansas. Moark. What is 70% of 70? Trevor, Danville. You missed it?
10.
Not 10.
49. 49.
Yes, 49. What was the last year the Chicago Cubs won the World Series? Mark, Judah.
1908.
1908 is correct.
Good job.
Still not.
Savoy, Chinese, and red are all types of what? Isaac.
Native American? No.
Yeah. Not Native American, you guys can confirm? Savoy, Chinese, and red are all types of what? Need an answer?
Just say something. Flowers.
No, they are types of cabbage.
Cabbage is like Microsoft.
Who founded Microsoft was Bill Gates? Mark, Judah.
Steve Ballmer.
Not Steve Ballmer. Need an answer? Paul Allen is what we're looking for. Paul Allen.
Oh, okay.
What animal lives in a lodge? Isaac.
Beaver?
Beaver is correct. When is the Ides of March? Sam, Judah.
The 15th.
15th of March. Yes. So to make sure, what aircraft is controlled by manipulating a cyclical and a collective? Trevor, Danville.
Helicopter.
Helicopter is correct. Good job.
Oh, okay.
Longtime actor Lawrence Fishburne joined the cast of what highly popular CBS show for 2.5 seasons? Correct answer was CSI, the original one, I believe.
CSI. Okay. Oh,
Where does vanilla come from? Sam, Judah.
An orchid.
An orchid is correct.
Nice. Oh, I was gonna say nice.
Who is the creator of the heroes Rob Roy and Ivanhoe? Nathan, Judah.
Gary Paulson.
No. It's the creator of Rob Roy.
Oh, that's
and
Hatchet.
Ivanhoe.
Dang it.
Smith.
No, Sir Walter Scott.
Scott.
Who is the youngest person to win the Academy Award for Best Actor? Trevor Danville.
Justin Timberlake.
No. You guys can confirm?
No. Did he really? Oh no.
Need an answer?
Nicole.
No, Adrian Brody for The Pianist. 2002. What superhero's real name is Steve Rogers? Isaac.
Captain America.
Captain America is correct.
Dang it.
Which plane was nicknamed the Flying Fortress in World War II? Isaac.
B-17 bomber.
Yes, B-17. Good job. What Pacific state has a grape as its state flower? Sam, Judah.
California.
Not California.
Oregon.
Oregon is the correct answer. What breed is the cowardly canine detective Scooby-Doo? What dog breed? Sam, Judah.
Great Dane.
Great Dane is what Scooby-Doo is. What fountain in Rome is where tourists make 3 wishes after tossing coins into it? Correct answer is the Trevi Fountain. What is the southernmost national capital city in the world? Southernmost national capital city. Mark, Judah.
Johannesburg.
No.
Cape Town.
No, Wellington, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Wellington, New Zealand. On what date did the Great Chicago Fire begin? What year, let's say? In what year did the Great Chicago Fire begin? Isaac, Danville.
1912.
Not 1912. You guys can confirm?
1901.
No, 1871. 1871. What is the number of pints of blood in the human body? Isaac, Danville.
10 pints of blood.
Not 10.
It's either 4 or 6. Huh? It's either 4 or 6. It's not much. 6.
12.
Dang it. I should have said something.
Iron pyrite is commonly known as what? Carice.
Fool's gold.
Fool's gold, correct. What famous individual opened the first copper mill in America? Mark, Judah.
Carnegie.
Not Carnegie.
You steal. Oh, I started.
Can you answer?
Boris Sutter.
No, answer from sort of before, Paul Revere.
Oh.
Paul Revere is what we're looking for. Okay, it's time for this round's video question, which goes to Judah Christian.
Hi, I'm Seth Mendelowitz, and I teach English here at Parkland. This 17th century epic poem, written in 12 books, seeks to justify the ways of God to man. In it, Satan famously says, "Better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven." What is the title of this poem?
That's correct. It's Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost.
This is John Milton's Paradise Lost. It is perhaps impossible to depict perfection, and so despite his intentions, Milton's God comes across as bland compared to his Satan, whose fleshed-out character and misery ultimately humanize him.
Okay, Judah takes a little bit of a lead, but we still got the last part of this round to go. Which founding father published the first known American political cartoon? Danville, Trevor.
Jefferson.
Not Jefferson. You guys can confirm?
Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin is the correct answer. Fort Dearborn became what Illinois metropolis? Fort Dearborn. Adam, Danville.
Chicago.
Chicago is the correct answer. How many days was the Battle of Gettysburg fought? Isaac.
3.
3 days is correct. What makes up approximately 70% of the human body? Adam.
Water.
Water is correct. Oh, sorry. His final game at Camden Yards is marked by groundskeepers mowing a giant number 8 into the outfield grass. Final game at Camden Yards. Mark, Judah. Not Babe Ruth.
Jackie Robinson.
No, Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken. The Iron Man. D-Day happened on June 6, 1944. In what country was Adam?
France.
France is correct. What country was Omaha Beach? Who's the first czar of Russia? Mark, Judah.
Peter the Great.
Not Peter the Great.
Nick was the first.
No, it was Ivan the Terrible. The opposite of Peter the Great, Ivan the Terrible. How many months of the year have 31 days? Kendall.
6.
Not 6.
Five.
No, it's 7. Seven. Founder Julian Assange leads what website dedicated to Adam Danville?
WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks is right. Which American composer was best known for orchestra pieces such as Rhapsody in Blue and Sam, Judah? George Gershwin, yes. Porgy and Bess also. Who was on the cover of the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine? Sam, Judah.
Jimi Hendrix.
Not Jimi Hendrix. Guys, can you first?
Mick Jagger.
No, John Lennon. John Lennon.
Oh.
Which state traditionally holds the first presidential primary in the nation? Isaac, damn it.
Iowa.
Not Iowa.
Delaware.
No, New Hampshire is what we're looking for. New Hampshire. In what year was the U.S. Monroe Doctrine introduced? That year was 1823. 1823. What color is a lobster's blood? Sam, Judah.
Green.
Not green. Blue. Blue is correct. Which mountain range marks the eastern border of Europe? Isaac, Danville.
The Ural Mountains.
Yes, the Urals. In the human body, what connects the calf muscles to the heel bone? Sam, Judah.
Achilles.
Achilles tendon is correct. Can you name the Portuguese navigator and explorer who led the first? Sam, Judah.
Magellan.
Ferdinand Magellan is correct.
Good job.
What amazing team won the 1969 World Series? Isaac, Danville.
Yankees.
Not the Yankees.
1960. We'll go Red Boston Red Sox.
No, Yankees close. Crosstown, the Mets. Amazing Mets. What manic comic often ad-libbed his routines on the TV sitcom Mork and Mindy? Sam, Judah.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is correct. All right, that's the end of the game. They'll tally up the scores and tell you the winners right after this.
Hi, my name is Jeff Cox. I'm the program director for the Network Administration and Support Program. In our program, it's kind of an all-encompassing thing. They will learn how to troubleshoot and install and configure and manage networking equipment, computers, PCs, servers, and all of those kind of things. Network administration is best handled by people who are people, which means gets along with people and likes to do customer service and be successful in those areas, as well as the managing and the care of equipment and security. When you complete the program, you'll be well versed in all of the Microsoft Windows product operating systems and Linux and DOS and all those things, so any computing environment that you go into, you'd be qualified to work. Because of that, local companies for computer support, networking support and stuff hire quite a few of our students. Pretty much all the different major employers in the area have hired our students as either interns, which is neat at the end of our program, as well as ongoing long-term employees.
Well, that was a great championship match in Game 1. Danville, 250. Judah Christian wins with 270. We'll see you next time on the Parkland Challenge.